Technique is how we do some work. This is what the German thinker Oswald Spengler says in his book Man and Techniques. The history of humanity from the Stone Age is nothing but a history of evolving techniques. Now, technique is not the work, it is also not the tool. Technique is how we do the work. Let's say we are riding a motorcycle. The motorcycle is the tool, and the work is driving the motorcycle. But how we drive, that is the technique. If we know the technique, we can drive. If we don't know the technique, we may get an accident. So there is something very distinct called technique that we have in our everyday work, that we need and that we also do. That is the core of the work. Without the technique, the work will not succeed. Now, this is true since the Stone Age. In the Stone Age, we used to hunt wild animals, also collect plants. Now, we have also created lots of tools for doing this. But because we want to hunt the wild animals, we created the stone tools. The tools didn't come from a vacuum. The technique was the reason the tool was created. Now, the technique is the smart way of hunting the wild animal with minimal injury and also minimal damage. After hunting, we can eat the wild animal, that is a necessity. And for all of this, different kinds of techniques were created. Now, techniques also evolve. Let's say previously we had some loss from hunting a mammoth. We created better techniques. We created sharper tools for those techniques. And then our losses were minimal. Then we learned farming and agriculture. Then we no longer needed to hunt. And as a result, we created better and better techniques. Now, as techniques were evolving, we also created better and better tools. So tools come second, techniques come first. Because we want some technique, we want a specialized kind of a tool. Another example is we want to draw. So we used to draw on the cave using some stone or whatever. Then we created pencil and paper and we started drawing in pencil. Now in the modern age, we have stylus and we have digital painting. Now we have stylus. That is not the reason we are drawing. We want to draw. That is why we created the pencil, the stylus, and etc., whatever. Nowadays, we also create AI images. Now, how or why we want to draw, that is totally a different question. It can be of desire, it can be of something else. But the thing is, we want to draw or we draw. And drawing is a technique, a better technique. Like whoever has a better technique will be a better artist. Whoever doesn't have that will be a mediocre artist. But because we want to draw, we have created so many tools. Now, even in the industrial age, we have created lots of tools for lots of productions. Now, we want the productions. For example, we want the textile, we want the steam engine for transportation, and whatever the reason might be, we have created lots of tools. So now we are in the postmodern age. We see lots of tools around us, and we think that tool is something very essential. It is essential, but it is essential because of the technique. Now, if we try to look back, we have the internet today. Before the internet, there was telecom. Before the telecom, there was maybe telegraph or telegraph lines. Before that, there was newspaper. Now, in this way, we can go back up to the Stone Age. Since the Stone Age, we have been creating techniques and tools were helping in those techniques. Now, coming from the past, now let's talk about the future of techniques. We are now living in the age of technology, the age of AI, and technology is kind of making us dumb. We no longer do the small and menial tasks that we do every day. For everything, there is a smart AI solution. And it's not like we are doing some sort of a highly analytical work instead of doing the menial tasks. We are kind of doing nothing. We are being lazy. Now, we must understand that AI was created exactly for this purpose, that human beings don't want to work, and so we created AI. So, artificial intelligence as a tool is kind of assisting in our technique of laziness. We may say like that. We wanted to be lazy, so we created AI. And now we are kind of in a dilemma. AI is kind of replacing a lot of the menial jobs, and we don't know what to do. Because job used to give us a purpose, any sort of work. Work is not only about money. It's not like we will give some sort of a universal basic income. Of course, that will allow us to have our food and other basic necessities. But work and job also used to give us a purpose. And what to do about this now? Because for most of our history, we were in a shortage of food and commodities. So we had to produce. So that was a good purpose, we can say like that. But now, since the industrial age, everything is abundant. There is abundance of food, there is abundance of commodities. Now, there is problem in distribution, of course. That is a different issue. But there is not a shortage of things. So, being lazy kind of makes sense now because we are not in a shortage of anything. So we can be lazy, but that is also killing our purpose. Now, even in the age of AI, some people have mastered some unique techniques and they can go viral. They can do something unique and they will go viral in the social media. So, virality is a technique that some people have mastered in the age of technology to make a name. But what about the remaining people? What to do? Now, that is a good question. Now, we have to understand that techniques are one kind of a will. We want to do something, so we created a technique. We want to kill the mammoth, or let's say we need to kill the mammoth also. But in this case, let's say they want to go viral, they want to make a name. So, technique is manifesting as one kind of a will. And so, how the remaining people who will not be viral? Because virality is also a game of ratio. Like one person can go viral, then other 100 people must consume his content. Maybe not even 100, maybe 1,000. So, not everybody can go viral. They have to find a different purpose. So, one way we can do that is we have to redefine and we have to think from the first principles what is desire, what is will. And so, accordingly, we have to come up with some new techniques. Because as technology is moving forward, we are kind of looking in the direction of transhumanism and singularity. We are kind of trying to make ourselves cyborgs. We want to make our body immortal. We kind of forgot our soul. Now, maybe we have to rediscover our soul. That maybe there is not everything is in the machine. There must be something unique, something closer to nature, something pure soul. So, what I believe is what kind of new techniques will come up, I'm not so sure about that. But either the future will be pure soul or it will be pure machine. And we have to create our techniques for that purpose.